Welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be discussing about HTML. Yes, we'll be discussing about HTML, Introduction to HTML. Now, as we all know that HTML is the skeleton of all websites. Yes, HTML is the skeleton of all websites. So now, what is HTML? HTML is hypertext markup language. The H stands for hyper, while the T stands for text, while the M stands for markup, while the L stands for language. So by this we can say HTML is a markup language. It is the standard markup language used to create web pages. It is the backbone of all websites, providing the structure and content that the web browser render to the user. Now, so without HTML, we can't have a website. So HTML is the bone, is the structure, is the skeleton of all websites. So now let me say a brief history about HTML. We have different versions of HTML. We have the version 1. The very first version of HTML, it was introduced in the year 1993. The first version of HTML was introduced in the year 1993, which is the version 1. Then version 2 of HTML was introduced in the year 1995, and it was added support for forms and table. So the first version of HTML we have does not support forms and tables. In the year 1997, version 3.2 was created, and the version 3.2 supported the style sheet and script. So version 1 and version 2 does not support the style sheet and script. But from the year 1997, it supported style sheet and script. So in the year 1999, we have the version 4.1. So the version 4.1 adds some features. Some features we added to version 4.1. It has more accessibility features. So in the year 2014, it was improved on, and we have the version 5. The version 5 supports multimedia elements, canvas, and web storage. It supports canvas, multimedia, and web storage. Now, why do you need to learn HTML? HTML is very, very important. Why do you need to learn HTML? Number one, if you want to be a web developer, you must learn HTML, because HTML is the bone, the structure of every website. So without HTML, you cannot be the website. So as a web developer, you must learn HTML. Then number 2 is for you to improve your career prospects. Yes, because HTML is a very, very valuable skills. Yeah, it's a very, very valuable skill to learn in today's job market if you want to be a developer. Imagine HTML being the first language you need to learn, the first and compulsory language you need to learn as a web developer. So it really means a lot. Then number 3, it enhance digital literacy. Understanding HTML help you navigate the web more efficiently. Now, someone who is a web developer who understands HTML can navigate can navigate any website efficiently, more than someone who is not a web developer. Then number 4, create web application. If you want to create web application, HTML in conjunction with other technology like CSS, JavaScript, and other server-side languages to build web application. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that for you to be an expert in HTML, for you to create web application, you need to learn HTML. Yes, HTML with the combination of CSS and JavaScript, so with some server side, that is some back end languages which will help you to build a web app. So HTML is very, very compulsory for all web developers to learn. So if you are young, you are new in programming, and you want to specialize in web development, the first ever language you need to learn is HTML. So now, without saying much, so let's dive into our HTML. So I have already created my folder on my desktop. So I named the folder to be class, as you can see here. So now I'll just come here, click a new file. Now I will name it index.html. So you see, so I'll name it index.html. So this means that I have created my HTML file. So now, how do I start up my HTML file? I'll press down the shift button and the exclamation mark button. Now you see abbreviation. So now I will press the tab so that I will have the headings of my HTML. So now you can see, so this is the boilerplate of HTML. Now for every HTML file, we must have this, because it is the boilerplate of all HTML. So now, what does this mean? It means that this doc type HTML, the doc type HTML, it declares the document type as HTML5. This means that we are working on HTML5. The doc type HTML, it means that the document type is HTML and it is HTML5. Now the HTML here, it is the root element of the HTML document. The HTML here, it is the root document of all HTML elements. So now we have the head. This is the head section of all our websites. So now let me quickly explain this. The HTML here, this lang here, it means language. Here this means language. It means that the language which this HTML is working on is English. You can see it here. That's why we have EN. It means English. So now we have the head. The head here. Now the head is the upper part of our website, of our web pages. Is the upper part of our web pages. So now it contains the metadata about the document, such as the title, the sachet, the links to external style sheets or scripts. So now you see we have the meta sachet here. This is meta sachet. Now this is the meta name and the viewport. This is the response. This meta name, the viewport, the content, which size, initial skills, they are responsible for the responsiveness of our website. Yes, this is responsible for the responsiveness of our website. So without this, our website will not be responsive. So now we have the title. Now this is the title. We have the title here. So this is where we will give a name to our website. Yes, this is where we will name our website. For example, now this the title here is document. That is the default name given by HTML. So now in HTML we have the we have elements, and some elements have closing tag and opening tag. So now this is the head tag here. The head tag starts from here and it ends here. So now this is the head tag. The head tag starts from here and it ends here. So this is the opening tag. This is the opening tag of the head tag, and here is the closing tag of the head tag. So now we have the body. We have the body. This is the body. This is the opening tag of the body, and this is the closing tag of the body. Now the body contains the content of the HTML document. Now every other thing we want to be doing in our HTML file, we are going to do it between this body here, the opening tag, and this body here, the closing tag. So everything we'll be writing now, all our code, all our elements that we'll be using, we are going to write it in between the opening tag of the body and the closing tag of the body. So now we have the closing tag of the HTML here. You know, as I've said earlier on, we have the opening tag here. This is the opening tag of our HTML, and this is the closing tag. This is the closing tag of our HTML. So this means that we are working on an HTML project. You understand? So we are working on an HTML project. As I have said in our previous tutorial, I said we need to install an extension that will help us a lot in working with HTML. The extension that will be helping us to be viewing our website on our web page, which is the live server. So without the live server, we can't view our website on the web page. Now this is it. We have already created a website now, just a empty website. With this few line of code, we have already created a website. So now let's use our live server to view our website. So you right click, start right clicking, then you scroll down to open with live server. So now as you can see, we have our website now. This is what I was saying before. Let me make this a little bit smaller so we'll be able to see. Let me clip this right up here and make this be good. Yeah, so that will be working side by side on our web page too. So now this is it. Now the title of our website. Now we have successfully created a web page. This is a blank web page. We have created a web page. Now this is the title here. You can see by default the title here is named document. You can see the title here is named document. Now this is the document here. Now if I change this document to whatsoever I like, it will also reflect here immediately. Now you see immediately I deleted the name document. The name here has already been deleted. You can see it here. The name has already been deleted. Now let me change it to the tech guy. The tech guy. So now you see. So this is how the title work. So you can see this is how the title work. So this is our IP address. This is our IP address here. You know, on a normal website, your website will have a name such as www.something.com. You understand? Because we have not hosted our website on a web server, so we'll be using our local server. So this is the IP address of our local server here. So every computer have this, so you can also use this on your computer as well. So now let's start with HTML properly. So in the next tutorial This is the introduction to HTML. So in the next tutorial, we'll be discussing
Welcome to
about
today's tutorial.
tags in HTML.
In this tutorial,
so now, how do we make
discussing
our website?
about
How do we
introduction
write on
to
our website?
programming.
So by the next tutorial,
So
I'll be discussing on how
before we start,
how you'll be able
need
to
to
write
know
on your website, and it will display on it. Thank you very much for watching
welcome
this
to
tutorial.
today's
So by
tutorial.
next class, we'll be discussing
In this
about
tutorial,
various
I'll
tags
be discussing
in
about
HTML.
introduction
discussing
to
about various
programming.
tags in HTML.
So
So thank you. God bless you.
Before we start, we need to know